That's what I be doing. No, I just used to y'all said
from London to the Bay. It's hammer, gold hammer, every hammer, dirty hammer. And the rest is on its way. Can't touch this.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Well, it's
Woo,
Wednesday.
it is Wednesday. It is Wednesday in all of its glory. Got a different setup because we got a lot more people in here today. We are actually having a rather serious conversation. Today we are talking about domestic violence. This is October. We are in our purple. We're talking about domestic violence awareness, and we have our special guest here to talk with us as well. Right now on the camera, you have Tina Toress and Jamal Bradley. They're going to be talking about domestic violence, letting us know what abuse is. They're going to talk about the Purple Gala and so much more. So without further ado,
It looks so good.
I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
You see the shoulder like this? That's dope, ain't it?
It does.
All right, it's on y'all. We're going ladies first. Go ahead, Tina.
Hello, my name is Tina Toress, and I'm the founder and CEO of She Did That Community Advocate Foundation.
And my name is Jamal Bradley. I'm the vice president of the She Did That Community Foundation.
Okay, hold on. Y'all do a whole lot more. Y'all calling yourself short. Like, run your resume. Run your resume.
Also make use on Thursday. But I am the vice president. I am the vice president of Tina's organization. Tina is the executive director of the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Fest. I am the CEO and founder. I also have an initiative now called Black Men Work, highlighting the achievements of Black males in our community. There's a lot of talk about all of the things that we're not, and I just want to bring some attention to all of the things that we are doing in our community.
That's what's up. Yeah. Black Men Work. I didn't know about that one. Congrats on the new venture.
Ms. Torres, fill us in a little bit more about yourself.
So as you said, I'm the executive director for the South Carolina Juneteenth Freedom Festival, but I also own She Did That events. So I have the ability to marry people across the United States.
Okay.
I also plan and execute events. We also work within the community on doing different type of drives for families that are in need. And we also work very hard. I'm also the venue coordinator for Venue 817.
Oh, okay. That's
You got a
dope.
coat drive coming up too.
I do with the Richland County parks. We teamed up to do a coat drive. But I also saw that there's another coat drive coming up too. So yeah. Let's get the
We
coat
coat
drive.
driving. We keeping the city warm.
Trying to.
Yeah.
There is, with the Fatherhood is Dope coat drive that's coming up.
Yes. Shouts out to CJ.
Shout out to CJ.
Yeah.
So tonight, we're going to certainly go through the whole 9 yards. We are definitely glad to have you all here because domestic violence is something that is not to be taken lightly. It is something that, as I research, impacts South Carolina a whole lot more than we give it credit for or really speak out about. For as many states as we have, not only are we the lowest sometimes when it comes to education, but we are ranked one of the top 10, like 5th or 6th when it comes to domestic violence. And it's not just impacting older, it's impacting all ages and all genders. So today we're going to pass it over to you all to definitely educate us in everything, and not just us, but everyone.
First question is, please define what is domestic violence. Because everybody thinks it's just a man beating a woman. And I'm pretty sure it goes way deeper than that. So give me the full definition of domestic violence. Why are you shaking your head? Is that wrong?
Because it baffles me that people actually just think that.
Right.
You know, domestic violence consists of many things. However, it doesn't just consist of men beating on women. You know, it's emotional, it's physical, you know, financial. It's a person that wants to be in control and convinces that person that they need them so that they can continue to control them. You know, and that's through different ways. It's hitting, the way they talk to them, the way they monitor finances, their time, who they can be around, who they can't be around. It's manipulation. So it consists of many different things.
I think with it, it's why people think that it's only men beating on women is because of the perception controls the reality, and we always see men being the main culprit of domestic violence. Nobody talks about, or you rarely hear about, when it's a woman being aggressive towards a man, or So just looking at it that way, I know for me, when you look at verbal abuse, that was a thing I struggled with earlier in some of my relationships, because I felt like if you was going to talk like that to me, I definitely was going to put the hammer down on you too and say some things to try to get you. And I think I know one, it's just not a female issue. And as the vice president of the organization, I have to say that it's a societal issue, and men need to be seen stepping up and talking about it as well.
What are the numbers on that, as far as men and as far as like women? Just curious.
So it's 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men. And in some areas, you'll hear 1 in 4 men, or you'll hear 1 in 10 men go through domestic violence.
In South Carolina, since 2020, you've seen most of us women.
South Carolina is ruthless.
South Carolina is ruthless. In South Carolina, 50% of women and 20% of men will experience some type of domestic violence via verbal rape or assault or battery in their lifetime.
Really? That's crazy.
Some crazy numbers. Tina, you got on me a couple weeks ago on an episode, saw your comment. Explain why it's so hard for people to leave these kind of situations.
So first, let me say that I understand when somebody says, or they say, that could never be me. I wish a person would, or something like that. Or why don't they just leave? Just pack your stuff and go. It's not that easy. For me, I grew up in domestic violence all around me ever since I can remember, since I was 4. That's all I saw. I always saw my mom getting beaten on. She would pack us up, give us a Jolly Rancher so we wouldn't cry, so she could take us to my aunt's house. And then at my aunt's house, she would get beaten up over there too.
So it's trauma.
So it was all around me my entire childhood. But then we would be at a cookout and the fight would break. They would fight. But then the next thing you know, they're drinking, laughing, talking as if nothing happened. I think one of the incidents that I saw that took me, that I'll never forget, is I was sitting in the attic looking out the window. And of course, all the adults are downstairs laughing, drinking, music. And that was back in like the 80s, early 70s, somewhere around there. And my stepfather took his car door, and the cars back then, were really heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Took that car door and slammed my mother's arm in the door. Naturally, me, a child, ran down the steps to go comfort my mom. But of course, I get sent back upstairs the next day. Everybody's laughing and talking as if nothing happened. She has an arm brace on. So for me, I assumed that was love. So I adopted that growing up. I adopted the fact that that was something that I needed to be a part of. I had to have it because that's all I knew. And most of the families back in the day saw that. A lot of families saw that. I won't say most. A lot of families dealt with that. So for me, I felt like that's what I had to have. That's what I looked for. That's what I sought. That's what I yearned for. And every time I got out of one, I got into another one because I felt like I'm missing something. So it's not that easy to walk away because I didn't have anything around me to show me differently. I didn't have anybody to walk up to me and say, that's not love. That should not be a reality. And let us help you. I didn't have that back then. So teen dating violence, I had to have it. I was in middle school. I was in high school. I had, so when people say that, I tell them not to say that because you don't understand what people go through. I had 3 children by the same person, and I was in an abusive relationship. I couldn't just pick up and go.
Excuse me.
Because who was going to take me in with 3 kids? Finances. I didn't have money. I couldn't just get up and go. And the other thing that you think about education. As a high school dropout, who's going to hire me? You know, there were so many factors. And I understand when people want to be able to say that and say, you need to get up and go, but it's not. I have to look at all the layers that are on top that I have to peel back in order for me to go.
So let me ask you, what's the longest you ever been in an abusive relationship?
7 years.
So, and I actually does not mean to disrespect.
No, it's okay.
And what in that process, that process that's going on, like, at what point in time did you like it register you like, okay, I got to start finding my way? Because I'm assuming that you said no, you had 3 kids and you had no finances. So in a way, you felt as if though you were kind of dependent, right?
Yeah, right.
So that how long did that take you to say I'm gaining some type of independence about myself to rectify the situation and leave?
So let's see. I went through it so many different times that every time I thought I was doing something better for myself to get away from it, I would actually do it. But then I had to have it back. It was almost addictive.
Got you.
It was almost like a drug because
Right.
that's all that I knew.
I think in a lot of those cases too, you find people just embarrassed that they in a situation like that, and they don't want a lot of people knowing that they're going through something like that, so they don't really cry out for help. I mean, as a cousin or a brother or uncle or something like that, you might see your niece, cousin, sister, or somebody with a black eye and be like, yo, what happened? You know what I'm saying? She ain't gonna tell you boy punched her in the face or something like that, because she know y'all gonna spaz out, so she ain't gonna tell y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Y'all some husky guys on y'all side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She don't like that it's happening to her, you know what I'm saying? But she not going, you know what I'm saying, put him in a situation, because once she don't want to put y'all in a situation, I know there's certain things that my mother or my sister won't tell me because they know how I am.
Right. That, yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
it's like if I say something, I'm gonna get them all in trouble, or if I say something, they gonna get in trouble because of something I'm in. So they be embarrassed too.
But not only that,
Especially if you a guy in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that's
because your pride.
Yeah, exactly.
And
you will get clowned at the barbershop. Like I'm not being funny, I'm being serious, but it's funny. But it's serious, you know, like, because it's not supposed to happen, because your ego and your position, you think what you stand for as a man, and you got a woman beating you upside the head, like.
But it's a lot. She's right and Jamal's calling it really out. When women are sitting at home and you're dealing with it, and they're like, well, why she didn't call her dad, or why she didn't call her brother? Well, we don't want them in trouble because you don't want to tell them stuff like, how do I call my uncle and say, hey, it's a hole in the wall because when we were arguing, he threw this thing and it hit the wall. You know, when they come by, you tell them something happened, but it's years later when you finally say, so remember that hole in the wall? Yeah, he punched that while we were arguing. And now they're mad, but you hide it because it's like a kid. I don't want you to whoop me, so I'm not going to tell you. I don't want you mad at me.
But remember now, a lot of times, whoever is the abuser has manipulated that person and thinking that they don't need anybody else. So they've kind of cut off that communication with mom, dad, brother, sister, cousin. That, you know what I'm saying?
Isolation.
So for me, that's what it was. I was with his family most of the time. So they knew, but I couldn't reach out to my family, tell my family.
So what kind of signs should somebody be looking for beyond the physical? Like he said, you know, she got a black eye, she's not gonna tell me. What if he's not beating her and he's abusing her mentally, financially, and all this stuff? What kind of signs should somebody trying to help you? What should I be looking out for?
So imagine a person that you've known immediately just stops coming around. They have become distant. They have become quiet. They have become timid. Like you could go to hug that person, and that person they jump. You look at how they react when they're looking at the time, because 9 out of 10 times they have to report or they have to be at a certain place by a certain time. They were only allowed to run to the store to get milk, and he or she timed it. So you can look at that. You can look at how short your conversations are on the telephone. You can look at finance-wise, if they stop going out, if they stop completely like hanging out with the sewing club or something like that, or they stop coming to the basketball game and you guys are playing basketball and all of a sudden, no, Dad, I gotta stay home. I'm good. So certain things like that you want to begin to pay attention to.
I remember when my mom decided to get out of the relationship. It just wasn't, you know, going somewhere. And And this is one of my brother's father. You know what I'm saying? And she came back to the new house that she had got because she had just got into another house and everything. She came in there, she closed the door, and she just started crying. I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "I was getting my stuff. You spit on me." Oh, me and my brother in the car.
Immediately.
I went around there. Hey man, load the rest of that stuff up in the car. You won't pull a gun out? Yeah. And if you say something else, I'm gonna leave you in your house too. That's my mom.
Right.
So again, it sometimes it's embarrassing too. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really want to talk about these things happening in their family. Not just this, but other real issues that go on with families. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's like a big part of the problem. So like them hiding and letting it just get worse. It's just like I said, they become immune to it. So tell us about Purple Gala and how it assists those who are getting
Wait,
abused.
let's go back.
When you said they hiding it, what you mean by they hiding it?
Like you said, they're hiding it from their embarrassment, the ego. They're hiding from the
But
loved
they
ones.
don't
So
mean to hide.
they shelter themselves off
Yeah.
because like you said, they become dependent upon this person, the abuser.
But it's also fear and control. You're manipulated to think that.
Of course.
So
Of course.
I just kind of wanted to understand what you were saying when you said that, because it's
Let me clarify. Like,
okay.
how do you get them to come out as the Purple Gala? How do you get them to express themselves, to conquer their fears and tell their story and to up and leave? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
So you got to work with them. So
right.
then before we talk about together, if we could, let me just give you some tips on how you can be there for somebody.
Yeah,
that is going through.
Because you mix two things right there. Like they don't be like, I'm gonna come out this abusive situation and I'm going to the gala. It's a process.
Duh. But I mean, before she get them on stage, I'm just quite sure you build a rapport with them. You've been talking to them, restoring their confidence.
But those are survivors that came out of the situation.
Come out and they're willing to spread the word on what you can do. But a lot of people don't know that among us, you could basically help a person prepare an escape plan. I did a training this past Saturday to some church faith leaders that come in from across the state, and they wanted to understand what they could do to be able to help a person that's in a domestic violence situation. It's going to be hard for you to walk up to them and be like, you just need to get out. That's understandable, but they can't get out. So you have to remind them and not be judgmental by just saying, I'm here for you when you're ready. During this time though, here are some resources. Hey, here's a code word. If I call you and you answer the phone and you say pizza, I know you're in trouble. Or something like that. So you begin to create a relationship with that person by letting them know, I understand, I got you. But don't judge them. Because if you judge them, they're going to be like, well, why should I come to you when I'm already getting judged at the house?
Right.
I might as well just stay at the house and continue to accept that if I got to come to you and you go treat me the same way. You don't mean to. You really do not mean to. But it's your natural instinct of wanting to protect them. And it's hard. It's hard for you to sit back, but you have to. And you have to just be that when you're ready, I'm here. And I know that that's hard, especially for guys.
Yeah, I can't just sit back when I know you're going through this.
I see your face, and I understand that, Ian. But that person, a person that's in a domestic violence situation, literally the least amount of time that they go back is 7. They go back at least 7 times. You can pull them out, and then they're going to go back. And I'm a product of that. I was going back.
So how do I keep wanting to be there for you? If you go back for the 4th time, I'm like, yo, I keep trying to kick you and you keep going back to it. Well, how do I stay there? Because I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be like, I can't keep putting myself in this situation because he can flip out on me in a minute and pull out a gun on me. I can't keep coming back over there and you're just gonna keep going back.
But
Whoa.
No, hold on. I wouldn't even want you to do that. You have to set boundaries too for yourself.
That's what I'm saying. How do I?
But there's a way to set it without being judgmental. And the way that you just said it,
that's judging them?
You don't mean to say it that way.
Yeah.
But you have to say it in a way that says, hey, listen, I have to still protect myself too. So I'm not going to come over there. I'll call 911 for you. But if you're truly ready, I'll swing by and pick you up, but I'm not coming in the house.
I know
I'll
it
call
sounds judgmental,
911.
but guys be like, okay, this is the issue. I want to help fix it. Let me help fix
And
it.
it's not
now.
it's
Right.
not an easy
It's
fix
not
like that. Like
not
you,
going
that's why it's hard.
Yeah.
it is hard.
Yeah, that's what I see. I noticed that from Ian on the 2
The
shows ago, I
response.
think it was, and I noticed your response then. And I was trying to type as fast as I could, but
It was
like-
so many things that came through. It's like it's just not
Yeah.
that easy. And a lot of times you stay connected to them because I'd rather talk to you and know you're okay than be like, well, forget it. You just let me know when you're ready to go, and then I don't know anymore.
But
what's
you're not
going on.
okay.
You know they're not okay.
So what you just said, I'd rather talk to you and know you're okay, but I know you're not okay.
Because you know
I can't just leave you in a situation and I know you're not
But
okay.
you know that they're still alive.
That's
A
why
lot of times they're not alive.
and not just you know what I'm saying, woman issue.
Everybody don't make it to the Purple Gala, and
They don't.
Survivor. There are a lot of people, a lot of young women in Colombia that died from these situations.
That's what I want to know. What
I don't want to be the one that you called and I didn't come over there, and then tomorrow hearing on the news, you know what I'm saying? You're not here no more. Like I could have gotten my car if you'd have just. I get what you're trying to say.
It definitely don't just impact the person that's being abused.
Right.
It impact the other people
Right.
around to the ones who want to help.
Because I know, like you said, I'm on the phone. I'm talking to you. I know you're not okay.
But that's why a lot of victims stay quiet, because they know that it impacts the family. They know they've got brothers like y'all. It's hard for them. They know what's going to happen. So, but you also have to remember too, if you go over there and you do something, there's nobody to really say who, what, when, where, how, why, and then you end up going to jail.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So you have to create boundaries and make that person too also understand, listen, I'm here for you, but you got to understand too, my hands are tied. So when you're ready, we'll
When
call
you're really ready,
911.
tell me you want this large pepperoni, and I'm gonna come get you. You said you're the safe word.
He didn't say.
He said pizza's a safe word. If you call me talking about a large pepperoni, I know that means I'm really ready.
She
Come
don't
get
forgot,
me.
bro. She could be talking about pizza tomorrow. We loading up with bags, and she got it.
All I'm saying is I was
She said
you was educating me. You was educating me. When you said a large pepperoni, if you didn't say meat lovers, all right, she good. But you say large pepperoni, yo, load up the F-150, get hurt, come get me.
what I'm saying, and she got they having a pizza party tomorrow.
That's what I was saying.
We would have been loaded up on the way to jail on some kids, bro.
That is not the safe word that we use it here. I do.
I know I'm joking, but I was just, you just have to find a way to still have some empathy
You do.
and understand that right now this person is juggling how to not only accommodate you as making sure you're okay, because now they're in between trying to make sure you're good and whatever's going on at home.
It's peaceful.
You understand what I'm saying? So you have to balance it. And that person is going to be trying to balance it because they don't want you mad. Although they know you are, but they still got to go home to this too. So it's a balancing act that a victim is trying to do. They don't mean to, but it just happens.
How do you get victims to trust the system again? A lot of people no longer trust calling the police or going to get restraining orders or different things because unless it's at its wit's end, you walk in and you don't look beat up or you don't look like you're going through a lot, but they don't know what you did to get to this point, and they're turning women away. And then by the time that woman gets help, it's an ambulance out there with a coroner's office because it's just got that bad. How do you get them to trust the system?
So the system, from my understanding from the police department, they've implemented. They have a victims assistance program on site at the sheriff's department. The sister care office also has office there on site as well. We also work with South Carolina Victims Association. They actually are assisting with putting people in housing. Well, not housing. They'll put them in a hotel for about 3 nights to help them. But then that's where a lot of us are coming in at to help further on the cause of, let's see, where are you trying to go? What do you want to do? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the system works. I'll be honest, the system works at times and sometimes it doesn't. But you have to stay consistent and don't give up and allow those, you might not. And see, we need to be honest. some of us may not like what other resources are producing. And so therefore that might not be what I want. So let me try another resource. Do you understand what I'm saying? We have to be real about it. And that's why we're having these conversations, because at the end of the day, it's a slow process to get you to where you want to go, but you got to take a step somewhere so that we can help you with it. It's not an immediate fix. You understand what I'm saying?
It takes time.
It takes time. I lived in sister care. When I first got here, I was turned over to the police department, and then from the police department, I was sent to sister care. From sister care, I went to emergency housing. From emergency housing, I went into public housing for 3 years. After public housing, I got my house built through Habitat for Humanity. It's a process.
Okay.
Because I've seen women, I know women, and even right now we have comments coming in that they don't feel like you can trust the system. You can walk into the police department, lip busted, shirt ripped, and they want to press charges on. Sometimes they'll go after the victim instead of the other person. Depends on how the story comes out. We talked about earlier how sometimes a man can be abused because he don't want to fight the one back because he feels going to hurt her, but she's constantly hitting him. So
we had that call earlier today. We had a situation, and it was a guy.
So he's going through domestic violence, not because he's manipulated, but because he doesn't want to hit the woman back.
Most men like that.
Most men that they don't want to hit back.
Right. I mean, we're taught not to hit women.
Yeah.
But if she's hitting me,
you should be able to call.
I should be able to call
911.
I should be able to call. No, it's like it's time to strike now.
I'm gonna give you a real
I'm just saying.
scenario of this. My ex-wife went to hit me. I put my hand up. She cut herself.
She cut herself while you blocked the hit.
She called the cops. Told the cops that I was being abusive. I'm in jail now because of this. Lost a job, all kind of stuff because of this. We get up there in front of the judge, and I explained the whole thing to him, and he asks her, "Is this what really happened?" So she said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, what you want me to do to him then?"
So
and they dropped the whole thing. But by then I'm in jail a week. I done lost a job. You know what I'm saying? All of this stuff. So you can get, you know what I'm saying? Again, it's embarrassing too.
I mean, yeah.
And they expect, and women expect men to go back after that. Like, since I dropped the charges, come back. Abuse is mental a lot with people, and people play games like that. Like, no, I'm in control.
I was done after that. She was.
You had to run.
But I kind of just really want to go back to the system. So I understand that the system is flawed.
Yeah.
Because that right there tells you I don't trust the system.
I understand. But you have organizations such as us, the Hive, Hush No More, several others, and I'll send them to you guys so you guys can post them, that actually work, like, I hate to say it, but like the railroad, Underground Railroad. We fight as hard as we can, and we all have people in our back pocket that we can call. But at times, resources run out. Funding is not there for smaller organizations that work with individuals in domestic violence situations. And so we do our best. Hush No More does their best. The Hive does. There's a lot of organizations that are working, behind the scenes to try to make things happen. However, it's sometimes until and that's aggravating. You know what I mean? If you don't know somebody, who can you call that's going to fight for you? When Dr. Sonia Lewis was here, man, I was a fighter. She went deep in people's behinds, working on domestic violence, helping people. Some of those contexts got lost, when she died. And so, we're finding ourselves fighting really hard with resources. I could put a call out there right now for furniture when we move a victim into their house or they move into an apartment. I could put a call out to the community right now, and my whole house will look like it's a yard sale, because people do believe in helping us. But the fact is that we have to have resources in order to help more and more families be able to get on their feet.
How do you, so family-wise, and that's a big thing we're talking about support. How do you coach someone who knows someone's going through something with how to talk to a victim? Because just like we did just now, we laughing and we joking, but if I was a person that was being abused, that wouldn't, like, I would laugh with you, but behind the scenes, I'd be like, so I'm never telling them because I'm not safe anymore in that conversation. You're gonna laugh at me, but it's not funny when I'm at home and I'm ducking down the stairs, or it's holes in the wall, or the kids are crying. So how do you coach us how to talk to people and we don't make them feel stupid or embarrassed?
So just like how you may talk to your children if they bring something home from school, that drug related, gang related, or whatever, you have to have the conversation. And by having the conversation, and if they don't tell you, but you feel it, if you know it, you just have to, you can just slightly touch them and just say, hey, I want you to know that I've been working with individuals that are going through domestic violence, or we've been having conversations about domestic violence. And I just kind of want to talk with you, let you know that you know somebody that and they say,
One second, Tina, you got a very strong hum coming in right now. Sure, it's not. Move it, take it. Okay, it's a little bit better.
We good. Nah.
Just a little bit.
Whew. Are we done talking about the bad part now? Can we get to the good stuff
just
like the
now,
Purple Gala?
let's just stop there. That's not a great part to it.
This, you know, but there's a great part, you know, i.e. Purple Gala.
But I mean, just if you're gonna talk about domestic violence with someone that's having that situation, that are involved in that situation, talk with them openly. Don't judge them. Do not talk down to them. Do not make them feel less than what they are already feeling, and allow them to trust. The worst thing that you can do is have a conversation and then tell them that you can do something and not follow through. That's the worst thing. At that point, they're learning to trust you, and so with that, they're going to go. They're going to feel the back end, trying to get things situated out of the way, so that when you have your whatever you promise that you can do in place, they're going to be ready to go. And if you don't, that kind of just makes them think, well, why did I even bother? I might as well just stay right where I'm at.
Yeah.
So just there's a sentence that Jamal says all the time whenever we have to do something or something comes up. He always says, have the conversation. So have the conversation, but have it in a way that where you're creating a safe place for them to be able to talk to you and make it safe. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Maul, let me ask you something. You said you help out. Have you ever had to talk to some brothers?
No, I hadn't found myself in any of those situations yet. I'm like Ian. I want to help them. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I see a problem, I want to jump in right then and try to help. So I think what we're going to do as an organization is train. You know what I'm saying? Train not just ourselves, but some other people as well on how to handle that. Because there are some brothers that go into situations like that. They go into situations like that and get women out of those situations. So, but I personally haven't been.
Okay.
And you just have to be careful with that, because you don't want to. Sometimes there has been incidents where people have assisted right on spot and have been shot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a crazy thing. But again, it's layers on top of layers on top of layers.
It's just getting crazy, that thing called love. I mean, it's young. It's kids out here. I'm like 23, 24. If she want to leave you or you want to leave her, let them go. Like, they killing. They like, if I can't have you, no one could have you type.
And see, a lot of
that's scary.
Relationships with domestic violence victims tend to stay, because if they leave, there is that if you leave me, I'll kill you. Majority of the women that end up or men that end up leaving, some of them get killed. You know, this incident, this last one with Jalen Hasty on August 24th, that was her ex-fiance. They weren't together. He killed her. You know,
now, I have heard of instances where women do leave and get out, and then the dude just don't want to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
He stalk them.
Yeah, like an eye.
Back to job, all of that crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No, them the suckers. They were suckers initially, but like after she's gone, and you beat her out your life, literally.
Right.
You go hunt her down.
Mhm.
Like that shows your insecurity. Yeah, I mean, it shows your insecurity when you first lift your hand. You understand what I'm saying?
Or worse.
Yeah, I know somebody
Yeah.
who was dating a guy my side. You know, after they split, a couple weeks later, you know, her father and them had to come out there because he was hiding up under her bed when she came home one night.
Oh. That's why I keep my tools.
But I think that's the side of this conversation that doesn't get told. Because it's like, well, why don't you just leave? A lot of them left. So what do you do when your daughter's away at college and she's left and he won't leave her alone?
Yeah, that's
You
scary.
can't sit at the house with a gun every day and protect it. Like there's a lot that goes into it, and it's deep.
You sit around with this.
Really? I mean,
You know,
you get away with it now.
You know, college is online nowadays. She can stay home.
There's a lot.
Nah, I'm just.
I'm not joking. If I had a daughter, I'd be like, there. It wouldn't be a gun. Like, I get a crossbow. Like, I let you know, like, how many people get shot with crossbows.
You have to have conversations.
Yeah, you gotta have these talks.
Sometimes it's difficult, but those are the difficult conversations are the ones that are constantly swept underneath the rug, and then we're back to like, well, back in the day they did this, and so now we're going to do it. That, you know, you have to have conversations. Those difficult conversations do help save lives.
It was a scene with that Michelet story when she told her mom what he does, and her mom told her, stop doing stuff to make that man hit you.
It's in every Tyler Perry movie.
And that right there.
Right, say it again.
That right there is BS.
Yeah.
That is BS. And what was that movie that came out where I think everybody was scared we all watched it, and it was thing. I'll bring it back, but it really started with the mom making the daughter go back and marry the white man, and then it was a race issue movie, and the mom was manipulative. You understand what I'm saying? Because she wanted money.
Mm-hmm.
And it started at the top, and it ended up with that black boy ended up getting hung. He was the one. What's the guy's name? Remember the girl, the one with the guy. We were laughing about the brother turned him in and told everybody he was back, and they was talking about that darn. Yeah, do you remember?
Can't remember
I do.
He left. His mom. They ended up.
And he became the star singer or something, right?
Exactly.
He did. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. But it wasn't him. It wasn't her. It was mom. And it was that brother. It was at the top. And us as parents have to stop pushing stuff on our kids to benefit us. Children, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I said, I get real passionate and I apologize.
Tina's mother did it in What's Love Got to Do with It?
She did when she told Ike where she was, and in that Tyler Perry movie when that mom wanted that girl
for her personal gain, like you said.
If my daughter runs to me based off of something like that, don't call me because I'm gonna protect mine.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
As you should.
As I should.
Right.
But a lot of parents out there do not, because if you don't go back to him, we're not gonna get paid. I'm not going to be able to wear the jewels that I wear. I'm not going to be able to pay for this big house.
Because abuse is not always a poor person situation.
No. It's celebrities.
Rich people dealing with it.
It's celebrities getting. I mean, we just talked
Look
about
at the Murdoch brothers that you saw when that girl was saying that boy was beating her before that boat situation happened. There's a lot of abuse that happens, and it's not gender. It's not gender biased. It doesn't discriminate.
It does. I mean, I don't know, like you said, these conversations are needed. You have to have these conversations, but I mean, it goes to a character thing too. Like nobody I know that I'm hanging around is putting their hand on a woman, and you can't do it in front of me, especially somebody I know. Like if you hold and you don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but to create that statement within, it should be contagious. Like you putting your hand on a woman.
It's not about.
But you can't.
I'm talking about verbal abuse. I'm not gonna let you just.
But sometimes you know what? It can happen right in front of you, and you may think that person's joking because they joke, but in all actuality, they're actually being serious, and you have to check them. I think a lot of times fellas hear things and other guys saying they think it's a joke. Women do the same thing. Women are ruthless too. Let's put that out there. Women do stuff as well. It's both. And all the time we want to zero in on men, and that's not fair. Women do stuff too.
Speak on it.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to.
But it's women do.
Yeah, what's the percentage on the women that's initiating the arguments and initiating the fights?
Well, that you're not gonna know. I mean, because
They're not gonna report us.
it's not
They're not
gonna.
gonna report those.
You got
They're
less
not gonna
reports of what's going on to men than you do on women. Now, remember, you're just getting what's reported. It's
You're not getting what's really
way
happening.
more out there. What's not being right.
You won't know
Right.
what caused it.
When we were working at Verizon, this girl passed. We came in training, and the guy came into the lobby and asked security, could he sit in training with her? And they told him no, and they had to escort him out. He then started to gauge her mileage, like how long it took her to get to work and get back home. And if that thing was off, she got it. So after that happened, and they all started jumping in, like Tina said, the resources helped. They all came in. He limited the money. He was sitting in the parking lot. They finally got her out, and he told her, if you don't come by here and talk to me, I'm going to kill your nieces. So she went to talk to him. They found her body later at a construction site. When they sprayed that house to see what he did, he drug her from one side of the house to the other. That whole house lit up. So it's not what people always can say is easily happening. But there are women who go cry wolf and saying he beat me, like Jamal's situation. He never touched her.
Right.
So now he's scared to say anything because he's the one with the record. So he's the violent person, but he's not even dealing. It's that, and he's sitting there with kids, and the law sometimes favors the mother. He's got to leave his children.
Sometimes.
Oh yeah, all the time.
No,
All the time. No, all the time.
Sometimes.
no.
Six,
So
three,
women
270,
losing.
they ain't looking at me going,
Yeah.
oh, this thing happened to you.
All the time.
You did it.
It depends on the states, because they're not all states. That are not
No,
favoring
all the time. You don't see real house husbands of a WNBA player.
because
see-
it's
you
not
see it?
on TV. But
No,
it
you
happens.
don't see. You don't see it.
One of the things in that conversation was, you know what I'm saying, I'll get you locked up for this, and then
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
get out, you'll be paying for it, and
Yeah.
I have somebody else. No, you won't.
That's how it goes.
But if you say stuff like that to guys,
You're trying to
know what I'm
trigger
saying?
me.
You trying to trigger me. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
So bottom line is, men, check yourself on your self-esteem, what's going on with you. Fix what's inside of you
That
that's
makes you
making
stay.
you feel like this is okay.
But you try to walk away, she following you down the sidewalk. Just
But you
Hold
got to
on,
leave
I
the
didn't finish.
relationship.
Women, check yourself, find out why your self-esteem is acting the way that it's acting, and get you assistance and fix it. Because at the end of the day, we're taking whatever's going on with inside of us and taking it out on the next person because we don't want to check ourselves.
right. Those the
Well
suckers
said. Very well said.
who mad at their homeboy and go home and beat up on their old lady.
But it's an unfair statement to say, I don't know nobody who's doing that. You don't know of it happening.
Yeah, it says behind closed doors. I don't know what's going on. I'm
Because
talking about in front of me.
2 years ago, 3 years ago, I could have told, no, it's been a little longer than that. About 5 years ago, I could have said, I don't know nobody getting beat or doing anything going on. But behind this, when it all came out, there was more people getting abused or doing the abuse than it was nobody ever going through anything. Nobody was dealing with a happy home like everybody thought they were.
And it goes so much deeper. That person may be so controlling that they got a sex schedule. They force you to have sex. They force you to eat certain
People are
things.
getting raped in relationships.
Yes, that's crazy.
That's real. Like people are like, how you
That-
rape your
how you
wife?
you know
rape your
how do you get
No, it's
rape in a relationship? That's crazy. It happens. Yeah, like I don't know. Women put they put it on the table, so you ain't hitting that. Brother, just snap.
It's kids getting abused. It's kids that's going to their mother saying, hey, such and such is doing something to me. And the mama is turning on her daughter like it's your fault.
Yeah, but that's what that goes back to what Tina's saying. That man may be paying the mortgage. You understand?
My daughter ever come tell me that. Just come put money on my books. I'm not a thug and I'm not a gangster. But if you touch my child, my girl, and I'm going to jail.
Ain't no-
Right
But
now.
if you
For real.
and the thing
telling
that
you
parents
right
don't
now.
do, I think, because I see it when you're coaching kids, you hear it all the time, and their parents never know. And the first thing a girl would, I knew a girl. This was years ago, 15 years ago, who had something happening to her at school. Her mom and dad never knew, and we were pushing and forcing until we finally had to tell it. But why wouldn't she tell it? Because her daddy was gonna act like that. But if that girl would have had a place where she felt comfortable to tell it, the thing is not killing the person who did the act to the child. The thing is helping that child, because even when that person is dead, your baby's still damaged.
Back up. I'm killing.
I'm
killing.
What you
But-
said just now makes
but-
absolutely complete sense because I'm gonna be in jail.
Yeah,
and my child's still gonna be
killing.
traumatized. But I'll be damned if this motherfucker's
But
still alive and have a chance to do it
I
again.
think what you have to do too, again, is have conversations.
You gotta have those talks.
You have to have real conversations about real SHIT. I don't know if I can cuss on here, but you have to have real conversations
About real shit.
Oh, real shit. You have to.
You have to.
Because if you shy away from it and you allow Tom, Dick, or Harry, Sue Ellen, and Mary tell it, they're gonna believe them. Why? Because you didn't take the time out to have the conversation, and you have to. I remember I was at Crystal's house one day, and she was playing music. Do you remember? And I wanted to understand why she was allowing her kids to listen to certain music.
Yep.
Because I didn't allow my kids to do that, right? And she said something that I never thought about. She said, if I don't take care of it here in my home, somebody else is going to do it. And when they do it, it's going to be wrong. So I need my kids to understand what these words mean. And I need for them to hear it from me. Because if they hear it from me, they understand what I want them to know versus somebody on the corner convincing them otherwise. So you have to take the time to have the conversation with your kids. I know that we've gone from domestic violence to having conversations with our children, but in all actuality, teen dating violence is on an all-time high.
It's at an all-time high right now.
Conversations with your kids and about everything. Remember, you was a kid too. You was a teenager too. You was a college student or whatever. You was that person too. And you have to have these conversations.
I made it as a parent to have conversations that'll make your normal person cringe with my kids. I do what I call no judge zone. When you tell me something in this no judge zone, I don't flip, I don't go off, I don't tear stuff up. You tell me how you want to tell me, whatever you want to tell me, and I receive it in this moment. Reason being is I grew up around people who hid they were being beat, who hid they were raped. I was around people who hid everything they had going on. If they heard the cussing and stuff, their parents like, my baby don't listen to that. Your baby the biggest cusser in the classroom. But you don't know it. You have no idea. My child don't do anything. Your child high every day. Why is my child high? Because your child was raped at this party, but no one's talking about it. So I give them that freedom to where you don't feel you have to hide stuff here. And let's talk it through. Let me deal with it. I've worked with people who were like, yeah, you know, such and such touched my child and I went to jail for XYZ amount of time. So what happened to your kid while you were gone? Because that kid was still damaged, even though you did what you did. What happened to that child? And I see that so much that we look at abuse.
But you have to remember that too, is having that village. Like
that village is a necessity.
And some people may not have a village, but they have very close friends and family that have stepped in to assist. But again, you have to have conversations. You have to have conversations about domestic violence, about rape, and understanding the difference in that. No means no. It doesn't matter what you have on. If you said no, it
means what it is.
So having those difficult conversations are necessary. They're necessary.
And I don't think we came through a generation that has conversations. We tell you what to do, but there was never conversations where kids have a safe space or women have a safe space or men that are in safe space. No one has a safe space to be like, yo, when y'all not there, this is how this really goes down. And I don't know how to deal with it. And that's tough conversations that people do not have.
So I know that this is heavy, especially for you, Ian, because I see it on your face. And I saw it on your face 2 weeks ago.
So I just think about them growing up in this society.
And having those conversations with them as they're growing is important.
It's imperative.
It's important. I'm an ISS teacher during the ISS coach during the day.
Yes,
you wouldn't believe the stuff that I see and the stuff that I hear, and I have to have conversations.
And that's an elementary
school. And you know who I call all the time? I call a guy, because you know what I'm dealing mostly with? Boys.
Young boys.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Think about it, my daughter's she's a talkative kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to tell her, stop talking so much in class. I want you to be able to come talk to me when something's real.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell you stop talking now, when it's time to tell me something,
you're not going to tell you.
You know what I'm saying? I struggle with that. I'd rather you get in trouble for talking though, because when something happens, you have to come talk to me.
Right.
You want
understand you may not be daddy for 10 years.
Right.
But you want to know though.
Get the crossbow. Get the crossbow.
Like Samuel Jackson did in that movie. He didn't think twice. Them boys raped his baby. He went and shot him. I'm not thinking twice. I knew what I was doing. I knew exactly what I was doing. And I'm going to do it again.
Yeah, kill him and I hope they burn in the head. No, that was different.
But that's the same one. Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. And everybody
I'm just
backed
saying,
him in
like,
that.
Time to Kill.
A Time to Kill.
Yeah, and I won't watch it again. There are certain movies like that I just cannot.
That's the one movie I watch and I get mad every time.
Rosewood is one I
know,
can't
that's what's gonna
stomach.
happen, I get mad every time.
I can't watch it. I've watched Rosewood once and I can never pick it back up. But
You know
all
my
of
favorite
those
part of that movie?
movies, which one, Rosewood?
Yeah. And this is gonna sound horrible. Lord forgive me, audience forgive me. But when that man realized his wife was on, he going in and beat her ass.
Yep.
I'm sorry, it's my favorite part. You don't got all these
No.
men killed.
All these men killed. And it's a
Up
true
on the
story in
block.
Florida. It's
When
a
he
true story.
realized that he go in there, he just smacks her, beats. I'm like, you know what?
That's
I don't
your favorite-
condone.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
your favorite part?
I don't condone hitting a woman, but all this ruckus you caused and took all these men's life because you lied. Yes, I'm sorry. It sounds horrible. I know it does, Lord. World, it's
Now, you know
horrible.
what my favorite part is? Nigga got a piano. I ain't even got a piano. Hell, do you even know how to play a piano? No, but he got one and I don't.
All right, so let's talk about the game. You okay?
Tell us more. Tell us more.
Okay.
No, they processing
I
all this
know,
stuff right
that's
now.
It's layers to this. It's
It's layers
to
to this, and it's
this.
a
And I
heavy
know that you
layer.
asked how did we get people to come and talk at the gala. The Purple Gala is an affair where we bring awareness to domestic violence in the month of October, which we all know October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Most of the time, people don't realize that because of all the pink. And of course, we know about breast cancer. However, it's pink, and we don't get to see that October is the purple for domestic violence awareness. So the gala this is its 8th year, and the people that come and speak are those that have been through domestic violence, intimate partner violence, and they share their stories so that they can help another. Your voice matters, and your voice is being heard, and so therefore you never know who's listening to you, and so that's why having them come and talk at the gala is important. So this Saturday is the 8th Annual Purple Gala at Venue 817. It starts at 7. Huh?
Still got tickets left.
We have some general tickets left. Yeah, all our VIP tables are gone. All our VIP tickets are gone. So we have general tickets available. And the speaker this year is Sabrina Greenlee. She is the mother to DeAndre Hopkins, who is I think he plays for the Tennessee Titans. He's a wide receiver, I think it is. Something like that.
Went to Clemson.
It went to Clemson, correct.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about her story. It's very unique.
Her story is something as well. She different things, but she was seeing somebody who also was seeing somebody. The young lady threw acid on her, and she became legally blind. And the young lady that this happened, that threw the acid, actually just got out of jail not too long ago. So Sabrina has been traveling around the world telling her story about what happened. She's actually getting ready to have a movie come out about it as well. She is frontline all the time when it comes to her son. She can't see, of course, him play, but he always makes sure he runs the football. Every time he makes a touchdown, he runs the football to her. So she will be traveling from Texas to come to Columbia to deliver her story at our gala on Saturday. And then we have Melinda Song Alford speaking as well. And then, of course, we have our board member. He doesn't know, but he's going up to speak as well.
You speaking more?
He knows now.
You speaking more?
It's important to have a board member talk.
I think it's important to have men
Yeah.
speak up on the issue. It helps people who survive those ordeals to have trust in other men in the community, where it shows that it's just not all of us out here doing it. You know what I'm saying? So that's a role that I'll happily step into. Last year, I think it was incredible. I think last year, the first year, you had a guy actually on the panel share his experience, and then it was the real heavy one was the lady, the mother,
Tisha, that lost her 2 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
Real heavy. I mean, the ambulance had to come pick somebody up after
it triggered.
I can imagine. Her story triggered a lot of people just thinking about it when he came after your daughter and took both the sisters, and the baby was in the back seat, wasn't it? Was the child with her?
I can't remember, but the child has an image of their mother laying in spaghetti.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know, so her story and the male story, we had a panel that really just delivered some hardcore information, and so it became really heavy, and it triggered some folks, which we understood, and the ambulance had to come.
And the keynote speaker from last year also,
Centoya Brown.
Centoya, her now husband, who was he was part of Pretty Ricky.
He was part of Pretty Ricky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the story of how
her story is really
this
heavy.
brother helped her through that whole ordeal when she was in prison was real empowering. It was good to hear, you know, how a brother, you know, stepped up and was praying with this young lady to help her get through this ordeal. And then when she got out, you know, they got married, and now they a thing. And she a part of her story is how he was there for her to help her through that ordeal.
That's why I say it's layers, because once you come out of a domestic violence situation, you're rebuilding your life, and then you're learning how to trust again. You know what I'm saying? And she said at first she didn't know this person. She didn't trust this person, especially based on what she had been through. So with the gala on Saturday, we created a safe room. It's a room that's inside the building. We will have licensed therapists, a life coach, and also a medical person there, a nurse who will be able to help anyone who is going to probably have a triggering effect. So we created a safe room this year so that we can make sure that we take care of everybody. And then we also have 7 Sunday performing, and a shout out to some of our, we've got Selena Ruffins, who's going to be doing the food and the desserts. And then we have so much going on, but it's going to be a good night. What we decided this year was to branch out the heaviness of it, because every year it's been real heavy, and we noticed that people have left with this on them. So this year we're making it more of it's informational, but more of a good time of networking and talking a little bit more about it and resources. But on Sunday, we created this thing called the Purple Brunch. With the Purple Brunch, we have brought in some faith leaders as well as Nada Rutherford. Nada Rutherford is going to talk about from the other side of what she sees as a coroner when a person has been beaten to death or shot to death based on a domestic violence situation. We also have Stephanie Jacobs, who is the aunt to Jalen Hasty, who was just shot and killed on August 24th. She's going to talk about both sides from a female perspective, about females and males in relationships that are staying, even though they know that it's a toxic situation. She's going to talk about that as well. We also have a couple of our faith leaders who will be there. And again, we're going to have the safe room as well as resources on site.
Yeah,
so,
thank you to Dion and them and 7 Sunday for coming out to help lighten the mood with some good music.
Now Dion will lighten the mood. You're gonna laugh for a little while with that one.
So yeah, so we have, like I said, we have Venue 817 is going to host both events there. And shout out to, Cortez Jones and all of our different, all of our vendors, all of our support system is very huge. And so this year we are actually going to probably make a big impact on our, what we're doing with individuals with domestic violence.
That's good. That's dope. That's dope. Not, I know it was just like a lot of heavy on the information, but just asking the guys here. When Maul was talking earlier, bro, did you think about Remy and Papoose? It's like held it down in prison and then she got out and then they're together. Like,
no, I didn't think about it.
No,
it brought it to my attention.
No, is that not like a similar story though, right?
No, I'm just saying. I didn't even think about it. You just said it.
But no.
I know it was the abuse part involved.
They wasn't domestic violence. Like
I know it wasn't the abuse part. I'm talking about the sticking with her throughout prison, bringing her through the hard times, the hardship. It's a lot of guys doing that.
But
in these situations though, you gotta look at too.
Remy was abusive.
This is a person that you have a connection.
I'm not talking about the abuse.
And I wasn't being abused.
No, but when he was saying with the girl, when her situation was she was abused and she didn't trust men, and this man came in, it was like,
Crystal, I was right here. I said off record.
Then you talk about Remy who went to jail for beating somebody.
No, I didn't. The only similarities I'm talking about the man holding the woman down, help mold her to be a better person while she's incarcerated. They get out and they get married. That's all I'm saying. That they didn't come to mind because it's fresh in the air.
Pap didn't make her a better person. She's still trifling.
Well,
he just left it for somebody else.
All I'm saying is
Chris Brown told y'all.
He'll bring up Chris Brown.
Right. That's even worse.
See that? Now I ain't gonna sit here and ponder it. Well, you saw the pictures of Rihanna.
See now, look.
He went through generational trauma that led to his domestic violence.
I believe.
Yeah, but that's what Tina was saying. Like it's triggered, and that's the trauma again. You're traumatized. It's like
So
it's
that's why when you were talking about choice, and what you were saying, I understood where you were coming from. I just wanted you to also understand where somebody else is coming from too. That generational curses are real.
Very real.
And if a person is not subjected to being able to see what's outside of that circle, they're only going to possibly believe that that's it. And that's what I thought. My girls now believe that there is so much more outside of South Carolina because one of them went to Germany, one of them went to Africa, and one of them went to Charlotte and went to college and graduated. And, I mean, all these different things that my kids are doing or have done is because I wanted them to see that there's much more out there. You understand what I'm saying? And I talk to them about rape. I talk to them about abuse. I talk to them about how they talk to, their partner or how their partner talks to them. We have conversations. And the moment we begin to have more and more conversations, real conversations with our homeboys, with our homegirls, with our kids, domestic violence is not cute.
No.
Sexual assault is not cute. That man touching you on your butt and saying, and you tell him to stop, and he says, "Oh, it's okay," and then you go tell your girlfriend says, "It's okay." No, it's not okay.
No.
We have got to stop accepting that just because it's my homeboy, it's okay. Just because it's my homegirl, it's okay.
Right.
It's not okay. You got to check them. And until we start checking each other, this is going to continue.
Right.
I can see you questioning it, as a generational curse, though, because I wonder about that myself. Like, is it a curse or is it just bad behavior, poor behavior learned, what I'm saying, over a course of time? Like, did you just pick it up? Because, man, that's what I seen my cool uncle do.
That's the spread of the curse, though, bro.
Is it a curse or is it just this is the perception,
My habitat, my surroundings,
Your
like
trauma.
that's your trauma. That's what I'm saying. So it's that curse because it's feeding it.
That's not your generational curse. That's not in your family. You just seen something. Like, I can go live with somebody who's not my family and see it there. That's not generational curse.
No, but what I'm saying is like you can what you become around. I know, but what I'm saying is like,
I mean, if it's picked up from
A family member.
older, what I'm saying, somebody that you look up to, and you're a younger generation, I can see it that way.
But what I'm saying is like, it's see what I think y'all are compartmentalizing this whole situation because y'all saying generational curse, whereas if y'all speak about y'all internal family, I'm gonna talk about as black males, like it's happening in your household now. It's spreading in the streets where it's just becoming the norm. You understand what I'm saying? It's not just because my uncle did it.
Pimps before,
But that's what they talking about, trauma stuff. Because as a kid,
exploitation too.
But is it a trauma or is it a cultural norm?
well, the trauma has become a cultural norm.
It's become the curse. That's what I'm saying.
It's no longer hold on. It's no longer a generational curse when you think about it. Because what you just said, basically, I'm the curse. That traveled down to me. Right. I had to figure out a way eventually, even though I was going through it, I didn't let my kids see it. Right. So I knew somewhere along the line, this wasn't right. Enough to where I shielded my children, but I took the abuse. You understand what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
So eventually, after somebody finally just stopped me and told me, I knew then this can't be anymore. I can't, this is not love, right?
Right.
So, but now it's so glorified that it's just natural.
Right.
Instead of just saying, "Oh, that's just a generation. That's what grandma did it. That daughter did it."
But they do. It's cheap.
It is, but it stops. I firmly believe generational curse stopped with us in this particular age.
I believe it has. It's been great.
Yes.
Poverty is not a generational curse. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's a mindset.
It's a mindset. I mean, it's everywhere.
It's a mindset.
But it can be.
Reality.
But I said because the trauma of it all
is
isn't
generational
a curse.
curse stopped in
No, I'm talking
my
about the poverty
age
part.
bracket,
I'm talking about the poverty.
poverty is because you choose.
It's a mindset.
You have to make decisions.
When I said that, y'all,
But I said,
let me-
poverty can be a generational trauma, and trauma can make you stuck there. So you got people who, if something happens to them in the 80s, they stay stuck in the 80s mentally. If you get people who are stuck in being poor, then when you come up and you're in my house, I'm going, you can't buy a house cash. Nobody ever buys a house cash. You're coming because I'm telling you.
I'm putting it in your head. I'm embedded in your head, and that's that's what I'm saying. Like, if you walking outside, you're going to that, and that's your surrounding. That's your surroundings. That's what you're going to become. Key factor to what she said. The piggyback what she said. She said she took her kids out. They realized there was so much life outside of South Carolina. See, that's how that curse is broken. She bucked the system because she got outside of where the trauma was surrounding her. But as long as you're standing there, chances that curse is going to touch you. And it's going to feel like it's the norm. It's going to feel like you're supposed to sit out on your porch every day after work with a beer and a blunt instead of just being productive and say that's a weekend thing or that's a social thing. You understand? So if it's the norm, you're birthing the curse against something.
You choose for it to be the norm.
Yeah.
Because the pimp stuff that was glorified, they didn't glorify what really happened to the pimps. They glorified
we said that. We
the
said
money.
somebody was going to get up.
Y'all already me down that that was a generational curse because they saw
It
their family and they just trickled down. You can skip a generation, but
when
it's back.
Trauma.
No, that's a choice.
When you watch the Mac, you ain't going, oh, boy, got money. You looked at
Whoa. That move is off limits, bro. Choose another one. Every man, like besides the pimping, but looking at the pimping.
Oh, you can't. Now they're talking about you, so you can still slap.
You're gonna go from pimping back then now sex trafficking.
Right.
She gotta put a thing like the low rate.
So the Mac was a sex trafficker.
Huh?
Yeah, he was sex trafficking.
No, he was a philosopher.
No.
He was a philosopher. Take away the pimping. I'm there for the philosopher.
It's time to go.
You gotta believe in me, baby.
You know what?
Again, it wasn't just that he had bread. He had more than bread. He had power.
He was manipulative.
He was a narcissist.
That's what it was.
Oh, so your little philosopher was toxic.
Who?
Oh
no! Listen. No.
Dr. 23 word for a 1978 movie.
That's what. Tell me, bro. Say it, bro.
Look at y'all faces just now.
No, you're gonna do something like you're gonna get talent. You're gonna do something incredible. You're gonna do something incredibly good with your talent, or you can do something incredibly bad with your talent.
He wasn't shit. Call it what it is.
Use that word too.
I don't think so.
Use the word if you don't know the meaning of the word.
Yeah, that's a god.
A lot of people using those words. They punch words.
Again, it's layers.
Narcissist.
It's very
layers on top of layers.
What's the other one?
Sassy.
Oh, they use bipolar.
Oh,
too.
sassy. Bipolar.
They kill bipolar. If you piss me off and I turn around and go off, well, she's bipolar. No, you just pissed me off. I was giggling till you said that stupid stuff. That's not bipolar. That's situational intelligence. But people mix up a lot.
Legend,
but narcissists, man, somebody who don't care about nobody
but themselves. It's a lot of narcissists out here, bro.
But they make you feel
a lot of narcissistic people.
They make you feel like they end up being the victim. They could literally do something to hurt you and then turn around and make it seem like
it's your fault.
They are the victim. It's your fault.
That sound like a Virgo. That sound like a Sagittarius. That sound like a Cancer.
But
it ain't a Leo.
It's a play on words. So in my opinion, because there'll be people that'll say that's not true. But in my opinion, GC, generational curse, it stopped with me. My age, I'm 50, right? So a lot of things that happened in my time going backwards, yeah, it was generational. Because again, we kept everybody on the block, we kept everybody in the house. Anything that happened in the house stayed in the house. Oh, and that's why a lot of kids right now are tripping over carpets because us parents back then was sweeping stuff underneath the rug. And so now as you pull that rug back,
all kind of shit.
Yeah,
bars to come out. And instead of fixing it, instead of addressing
give it up for Tina with the bars, for real.
We're allowing our kids to get caught in all this other stuff.
We do.
That's why they're tripping up over the rug now. Because your parents swept some up.
You know what?
Bars.
Right there. That's what we got to start doing. Somebody drop them bars.
You and your sound effects.
Look at no, you saw him all day. He sipped his water like, let me get my shit together. Wait to hear this one.
It's a real
This
life
is a great
situation.
episode.
This is a great episode. It's a heavy one, and it's amazing how we love the celebration. We love to donate the clothes. We love to give the stuff to help. But when you got to sit down and
And
really
get
have
that
that
dirt.
hard
Get them
conversation,
elbows dirty.
nobody wants
Right.
to talk about it. Nobody, oh, well, if this happens, I'm going to do this. No, you're not. You don't know what you're going to do in that moment when it comes to you, because at that minute, you're like, this shit's at my door.
And you have to be careful what you say online. So, like, if you go online and you post, I've seen people post the most meanest things about somebody being in a domestic violence situation. But guess what? If your friend is going through it and you don't know it, she's not gonna come talk to you.
Because you done made it funny now.
You done made a post about it, and all these people who are just being rude are commenting. Oh, girl, I would do this. Oh man, I would do this. But in all actuality, she's not gonna come and talk to you because now you done making her feel stupid that she's in that situation. You cannot do that. You cannot do that. But guess what? They're gonna be mad because you didn't come and tell them. But why would I come and talk to you when you made a whole post about it?
Right.
And now I'm embarrassed. I'm already embarrassed because of what I'm putting myself, allowing myself to go through at home. But you're supposed to be my friend. You understand what I'm saying?
100%.
So you have to be careful the things that you say on. You just change your post up a little bit and say, hey, if you're going through DV, intimate partner violence, you got a safe place here to come if you need it.
And start paying attention to your people. One of the worst things that which I say, a generational curse trauma, y'all can say they don't exist, but I believe in them.
They don't. GC doesn't exist now.
Yeah, get you a social media accountability partner. The one that's going
you're gonna have to
take that down.
Because there are people now who say stuff like, "Oh, well, that ain't my business what he going through." So that man been walking around quiet for the last 3 days, and it's nobody's business. That person is starting to do XYZ a little bit more. I'm minding my business. I'm not dealing with it.
I'm having an adult challenge. I mean, all adults.
Call me and tell me you want a large pepperoni, man. I'm gassing up and I'm on.
We on the way with backs and all.
Don't come to my house with no doggone.
We coming. We coming.
You got
we triggering it.
Nah, that's a key word. Safe word.
That you two will
if you
know.
tell me you're going to get something to eat that I know you don't eat.
Pizza.
You're going to get sushi and I know you don't.
I know you don't eat sushi. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. You know, it was another person that helped real quick, and I know you get ready to issue a challenge. We created a safe plan for her to be able to leave. But one of the things that we worked on was, you know, her clothes, like the children's clothes, different things. I got a text message that let me know that I could swing by and pick up the trash. Inside the trash was her ID, children's birth certificates. See, remember now, when they're trying to get away, they don't think about that stuff.
It's a plan.
So you have to create a plan. And in that trash bag was the important information that she was going to need to be able to get the different things that she would need for her children once she escaped. So think about stuff like that. Think about when you're talking to someone, you know, learn about what they're going through, learn about their daily schedule, and figure out how to create a safe plan.
Real quick question. I know y'all said earlier y'all starting work sessions or stuff like that to train people like me so I can know what to look for.
Right.
When y'all plan on putting that into motion?
But actually, it already started last Saturday.
Yeah, I didn't get either.
Well, that one was for church leaders. That another person put it together. Another person put it together, and they invited me to come and do the training. So we'll go to the drawing board and pick some dates, and hopefully you guys can join us.
All right, you had the challenge. You want to go? He going to class.
Oh no, y'all don't. It's gone. It was here and it just go. What y'all talking about?
I'm sorry, but could you challenge the guys in your life?
No, I know the challenge. I was just playing Tina.
If something is wrong.
No, all jokes. I'm challenging parents. You got to start talking to your kids early. Let them know it's not cool to put your hands on people.
Yes.
Period. I'm challenging guys. I'm challenging women to sit here and just check up on a friend. Call, send a text, see what's going on. Like, it's okay to reach out to people and be normal. I mean, like, you know, just get away from the social media. But please, at an early age, tell your kids, don't put your hands on people. I tell my sons every morning, don't put your hands on nobody. Don't disrespect nobody. Don't allow nobody to disrespect you. And if everybody gave that little pep talk early, it'd be embedded in their head by the time they're 21.
You'd be amazed. And you want it to be, but you'd be surprised the conversations people like, hey, don't hit nobody, but don't let nobody hit you. It's not normal for someone to snatch you by your arm and say, hey, I love you to death is not a term of endearment. Don't hear that.
Right.
I love you.
What if someone hits your sons?
No, I tell them, listen, don't disrespect nobody,
And don't let nobody disrespect
but you got to be crazy if I'm gonna let you think you know somebody gonna disrespect you. You know, what's your last name? And who got it better than us? I don't care how hard it is. Nobody. Like, you got to mold. I'm working on that. So like, if that seeps out of my household into the people that I come in contact with, it's gonna spread, and it just keeps spreading. It'll get pointed out, and then once it get frowned upon to hit or just disrespect somebody else that you are abusing or having some type of domestic violence, you'll feel corny. You'll feel corny. If everybody come in here with basketball shoes on, you show up with cleats, you ain't gonna feel like much of a basketball player. So you need to start feeling like a piece of shit if you're doing shit like that.
Oh wow, okay, all
you
right.
guys on the truth.
That's it. You said having hard conversations. The reality
But you
is we got to
create a
talk.
space for your sons to come and talk to you if a woman hits them. If a girl hits them, you have a conversation with them about not hitting them back, right?
Yes.
And then letting them know that it's okay not to hit back, that I got you.
No, they know that. They know. I told them no matter what, you don't hit a woman, because it's like somebody hitting your mother. It's like somebody hitting your grandmother, your auntie. Like, you gotta let them know that, but don't stay there and get abused. Get away from her.
That's the part.
You understand?
That's
Now,
the
if
piece.
she's following you at this age, you gonna get an authoritative figure. You know what I'm saying? So, but like, no, I mean, like, it's a lot of people just locked up for just thought about it or just did this. Like, let's just offer these conversations, let them alter that thought by just saying, "Are you okay?" or "Hey, this is how things should go." Friends, family, children, and all. Like,
Yep. And uncle, stop thinking that it's cute when your little nephew is putting his hands where they don't belong on women, because that's not cute.
Yeah, stop smacking around, but it's not cute in the
Yeah.
playground.
And women, stop messing with these little boys. Yeah, I said it.
She called it out.
I said it.
You're not supposed to be
I
self
mess
said
with
it.
teachers, man. You know,
Oh my God.
it's true.
Just say,
It's true. I mean,
But she
older
tells
women
the
more
truth.
than me. Older women more than me. You know, like, I know what to do.
It's amazing what we
Did
laugh
Did
at.
you know
when
that
we're
was
children.
sexual abuse?
No, it was
Yeah.
an age gap.
No,
No.
10 years is not an age gap when you 8, bro. No.
Say
That's
what?
sexual abuse.
No.
I'm done.
We're done.
I'm done.
Listen,
That's sexual abuse.
Listen.
What?
the following
Listen,
thing.
Linda, no.
No. What I'm saying is, like, that was a
You
candid
just
moment. We were
decided.
just being silly, but I understand that was domestic abuse. Yeah, of course.
Sexual abuse.
you was ready to hit us with a disclaimer.
He was.
The views
Trying to close
expressed
it
by
out.
Hurt Ricks. It's not the views.
The views expressed on Watch Fox 57 do not reflect those of. Here we go. The reality of it is there are TikTok and social media are the ones that are giving our kids advice on how to handle things. We have lived in such a bubble that we
Oh,
do
the
not
music.
talk to our families
Movies.
and our children about reality. We don't have the sex conversations. We don't have the drugs conversations. We don't hide the side of things that happen to our kids because we want our babies to be in these beautiful bubbles. But when they get into the world, the bubble pops. And when they're out there, they don't know how to deal with these situations. You can talk to your kids all day long, but they're still going to life as life approaches them. So the best thing you can do is give them tools and resources. Sometimes our kids can't come to us, but they can go to aunts or godmothers or whoever or uncles that they do want to talk to. Sometimes your friends can't come to you, but somewhere in the world, we have to pay enough attention to each other to be able to say something's up. And then we as a team come in to figure out how do we help. And then the level of support you have to give is unmatched. If we do not, we're going to have more sunrise and sunset t-shirts than we want to have in our closets. So it is a time for us to get out of this bubble. This world does not exist, and address the stuff that's killing all of us or hurting us or damaging our families. This is one that if we stop being silent, we could end. So again, if you know someone that knows someone or needs someone, reach out for help. You got 2 resources here. You can find people on social media.
Where can they find you?
So again, my name is Tina Torres. On Facebook, it's Tina Darlene, the country. Tina Darlene Torres. She did that Community Advocate Foundation. She did that events because I answer on both sides. And also we initiated a new page called the Purple Gala. My number is 803-814-5173.
Say it again, like Mike Jones.
I don't know where we get him from. Don't follow him up.
No, say it again.
803-814-5173.
Thank you. People still call Mike Jones' phone.
Where do we find you?
I'm telling you to find Tina. That's all. Maul, where can we find you, brother?
Don't call me down 911.
Why come they gonna need 911?
Pick up the phone, call somebody, anybody, but
Yeah,
just realize you're not alone.
I'll just say what the T-shirt says, and that's in the silence: stop domestic violence and Black men work.
Let me just give this number just in case, and this is for anybody that's listening, for all of you that are listening outside of South Carolina, because we know that there's a lot of people probably listening from everywhere.
Of course.
So we want to say you can also call 800-799-7233. That is the hotline for domestic violence, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. In your community, what I would suggest is that you learn about the resources within your community, because as an advocate, you want to have that information should you come across someone that needs your assistance. So it doesn't matter where you are in the United States, take the time to learn about your resources so you can share.
If you're gonna pick up your phone to record something, pick it up to call for help.
Mm-hmm.
Bars.
You closing out with that? That
Y'all,
freestyle?
listen.
It was
See
bars.
y'all at the Purple Gala.
Purple Gala, Purple Gala.
Huh. In the silence, stop the violence. Y'all pray for us. We'll pray for you.
8 letters, 3 words. See y'all next Wednesday.
Be safe.
So y'all both just pick out little words I got for the
Bye,
night.
y'all.
You did a great job, okay?
You want us to do tonight? What you?
Don't say.
You know we got a few. Which one, bro? Which one?
I mean, you got an extra voice to join you, so
This was a serious event.
She don't even know it's planned. Maul can come in anyway.
He was going.
Maul.
He look like he's ready to load the truck up.
it's a serious. It is a serious subject, but
It is a
you
serious
do
subject.
have to find a way to, laugh just a little bit because it's a heavy subject.
Right.
Especially guys.
Mhm.
Especially guys.
Right.
Especially guys.